All right, boys and girls, we're live. We got me and Lance, and we got a special guest in tonight. We got Joey Machado come in. He's the pit master for Guadalupe Barbecue Company. He's out of Seguin, Texas. He's now doing marketing sales for Blues Hog and Gateway Drum Smokers. He's a friend of the show, a friend of ours, fellow pit master, and welcome, Joey. Appreciate you coming in.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate the invite.
Yes, sir. Well, everybody, we just kind of wanted to shoot the breeze tonight, talk to Joey a little bit, and see how this is going to go. Talk about his new position with Blues Hog, Gateway, and just kind of let everybody out there in the competition world know what's going on. You know, breaking news.
Yep.
About a week ago, it seemed like.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we actually had kind of made the move. I guess I'd spent probably last year or so with Tim a little bit, kind of all over the country, from the Jack to World Food, all over the place. And we got to visit and kind of know each other a little bit more. When I was with B&B, I actually was looking for a drum cooker to use for demo purposes at one of the biggest hardware shows that exists, which is the Vegas show. And so that would have been in 19, basically. I had called Tim and said, "Hey man," I said, "I sure want to use a drum." Previously, I had some relationship with Pit Barrel with old Noah, and Noah had kind of decided to do some special branding with some particular brands that year. And so I wanted to find somebody who was just kind of neutral, and just, again, picked up the phone, reached out to Tim, said, "Hey, will you send me a drum?" And before I knew it, he did one better. He sent a drum, and he sent his main regional sales guy, Mark Bayless. He sent Mark with that drum to Vegas. And after that weekend, we kind of hit it off really well, and we stayed in contact. And it wasn't until probably this, I think it was at the Jack, I think was the first time that I really, really got to spend some time with Tim and kind of understand who Tim was. And he's one of the nicest guys in the world, and wealth of knowledge. He's been cooking a long time. But again, he's kind of taken this sport to a different level, I guess, with his focus on cooking everything on a drum. The only guy that I've known for a long time that's all he takes. He doesn't take, there's not a Weber stuck off in the corner somewhere for emergencies or anything like that. It's all drum. And it's kind of been one of those deals to where I've kind of appreciated more and more what he's been doing over the years. Not only does he have great products, but he's got products that have been around for such a long time, and stuff that is kind of been a staple for so many people for so long. And for us down in this Texas area, that product has, and I'm talking about the Blues Hog side of the business. The product existed like where I'm at, Central Texas. It existed 5-6 years ago where you could buy it in a grocery store. Here over the last few years, I don't know if it was because they, lost relationships with brokers or whatever the case may be. Pretty much if it's not in a specialty store or an Ace Hardware, you can't find it in big box anymore. So with that said, it's opened the door. There's been a lot of products that have kind of rolled out, which are Texas bred or, have come up over the last couple of years, which has been kind of a filler for that product. So now what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get people to appreciate the value of what the Blues Hog original thing, what the original branding was. It was designed around one sauce. And that sauce, again, most everybody's got a bottle in their trailer. And whether you're mixing it with Head Country or Craig Sherry's or whatever you're going to be mixing with, usually it's part of everybody's mojo on putting on whatever it is, whether it's your rib chicken or your brisket. And so anyway, so like I said, it's going to be fun. They've got a complete line of products. They got a full line of seasonings. They got a full line of marinades. They've got more products that are going to be rolling out this year. Everybody knows the original sauce, but you've also got the Tennessee Red. You got the Championship Blend. You've got your Smoky Mountain. Plus, there's more sauces coming out behind that as well. Raspberry they just released. The gateways, of course, are great pieces of equipment. Whether you're running a 55-gallon or, a 30-gallon in a drum cooker, the main thing is he's just designed it to where, you cook at 300 degrees, brisket's done in 4 to 5 hours, ribs are half the time, chicken's half the time. And so really and truly, it's giving people an opportunity to cook a little bit more efficiently, understand the way that those grills cook, and they turn out damn good product. I mean, he's a great testament to that. He's done phenomenal this past year. He's got the slogan which says, if you're not first, you're last. Well, I mean, he was second at damn near every major contest this year. He reserved grand at almost everything. And again, like you said, it's not one of those things he likes to talk about, but it's fact, and I've been in the trailer. He cooks the same damn recipes no matter where he goes. It's kind of crazy. There's not a whole lot of deviation. So the products work, no matter what region, because he pulled off IBCAs this year. Last year rather, he pulled off the every KCBS, MBN. It's nuts, Man,
I tell you what, to your point there, Blues Hog was in my arsenal, has been in my arsenal, and just to give you, it's walked at the Jack under me, and it's walked at the Royal. We were on stage both days at the Royal this year. We were on stage at the Jack last year. Lance was with me. There's Blues Hog, and pretty much every turn-in box, there's a hint of Blues Hog behind.
Right.
The Blues Hog original to me is the best sauce on the planet. There's no question. That stuff just works. I know Lance uses some of it too, and I don't know many competition cooks that don't have at least something Blues Hog going on.
Yep. I think you're 100% right. And I think that you're just going to be able to see, again, I'm going to try to strike up a revival. We got guys who've never used it before. We've got guys who, again, used to use it, but now something else fills that spot. But you're going to see more and more of it out there. You're going to see me out there. When I hired on with Tim, we talked about, he's got a brand new truck trailer rig that, he was talking about getting out on the road. And to be real honest, I didn't want to do that this year. I've been hitting it hard and heavy, dragging truck trailer, I got so tired of DOT and everything else for the last couple of years, because I'd haul that trailer that was fully wrapped. And and I didn't want to go CDL, basically.
Right.
So Tim's actually, we've got a van that we're fixing to unveil. So that's really what I wanted. I just wanted a big cargo van that, we could brand, and it would be a small footprint, but I could get everything in there that I needed. So it's going to give me an opportunity to, go cook a little bit more, which I haven't been able to do over the last couple of years. Been mainly focusing on SCAs just because it's a one-day deal and I can get in and get out and be done with it. But now with what we're going to be doing with this branding, it's reminding me a lot of our first days, when we started with B&B. I just showed up everywhere. We were at different events, and, if people don't see you, they just forget about you, type of thing. And again, if it's, you're not hammering social media, if you're not at these events, if you're not out there supporting people, and you just walk in the camp and you see the product that, that now that I'm branded with, you show those guys some appreciation for them using the product. There's a lot to be said about Lance, and you probably know this very well. Matt, you do as well. The first thing, when I make announcements, the first thing that starts happening is all of a sudden, I got 500 people who all want to help me brand this product, and I appreciate it very much, and we have people going, oh, well, I've been using Blues Hog for years. Awesome. Let's keep doing it. We're going to build something. I've always been one who I will show appreciation to people who I see doing things. You don't have to go out of your way and show me. I pay attention to it. I watch social media. I see who's getting results, who's not getting results. Sometimes it's guys who just post a lot and may only walk once a year. Those guys, are, you're either going to be very successful at one or the other. It's very few guys who are successful on both sides. It's hard to do it if you're doing it by yourself. Social media is a full-time job. And, but again, like I said, if you want to, if you are looking for sponsorships and you're looking for people to notice you and all that, you can't have one part of the game without having the other. You have to decide really what you want to do. And so that's kind of one of those deals. This year we have, some people who've been behind me for the last couple of years who are going to help me brand this year. Blues Hog is a friend to all cookers. So it's very, very difficult to go out there and say, oh, we're going to have a brand ambassador program or anything like that. Doesn't work that way. This product is a consumable commodity product. Yes, we will have a few guys who are going to help us kind of spread the word, especially in the Texas area. But for the most part, like I said, is everyone's always said, if you really want to support a friend, buy whatever they're selling, and that's a big deal. We're all in this business to make some money at the end of the day. I mean, that's why we're all doing this, but we want to try to help people have the best products and have the best opportunities to get out there and win, especially in a competition world. So again, like I said, we're, I'm all about the swag and, and handing it out and all that good stuff. And you'll see me out there doing it. But like I said, for this point right now, it's probably going to take us a year or so before we get to a point to where, we could kind of focus more on, even thinking about trying to do some ambassador type programs or anything like that. Takes a lot of money to run those things. And again, like I said, you have, once you do it, you know how it is. You get somebody rigged up and then, they're Johnny on the spot for the first month. And then after that, you'll be lucky to see a post again. And, but like I said, I have had a bunch of great guys who've always done stuff for me. And we look forward to doing more stuff with them down the road.
For sure. What do you got, Lance?
Not much, man. Like I said, it's always been a great product. It's been in my arsenal for, I guess, since the first year I started back in 12. And I've ran different variations of it over the years. And when it gets, everybody kind of gets together on stuff, I swap it up a little bit with it. And, so I'm glad to kind of see it back out there. I mean,
yeah.
The founder of Blues Hog was Bill Arnold.
That's right.
He built some sauce that's pretty hard to beat to this day. I mean, I think they had the Tennessee bread, mustard sauce, and Smoky Mountain, I believe, were the 4 original sauces that were out there. I was lucky enough at the World Food Championship to get a hold of a little bit of the raspberry chipotle, and
that was a small batch one too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I told Tim, he's like, well, I'm fixing to release this, and I'm like, let's keep it under wrap for a while here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think Tim's been running it for a little while, and like I said, he's had great success with it. And but again, like I said, is you can't knock it. I think Lance and I spoke earlier, saying it's just one of those OG sauces, and the flavor profiles and everything else. It's just crazy that it was invented 20 years ago, and to today, people are still trying to get up there and and have a product that's just as good as. But again, it's like anything else, there's always got to be something that everything else is compared to. And I think this is one of those products.
Oh, I agree. I agree 100%. Like I told you earlier, I mean, when I first found it, it was surfing the internet late one night looking for, something no one else was using in our part of the world. And I come across it, and there was one place I found online. And like I said, I believe it was called Hawkeyes back in the day. It was like in Ohio or Iowa or someplace. And I ordered some in. And like the third contest I ever cooked, I had a first place ribs with it. And I mean, it was our go-to for a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just like I said, it does. I mean, it has stood the test of times.
Yep.
You know, and I know that there's a lot of old pitmasters still running it.
Yep. Well, there's one thing that is happening with that product that'll be released soon is they've actually got they're looking at some new bottling, and I think everybody's going to be pretty excited about what's coming out. I know I was with Mo Son probably 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I know we were at Barbecue Battle. Well, it was right after he got the new blue, the one that Rocky W had built him. So that was 2 years ago, I think. And I was sitting there. I'd gone up there to go help Mo do some boxing and stuff like that, just do his granary and stuff. And Mo's he'll let something burn before he walks away from people who want to take a picture with him. And Mo had thrown a bottle of Tennessee Red in that microwave oven, in that damn oven piece that he had on that pit. And sure enough, we're standing there, and that thing just blew up inside there. He just blew that whole bottle up in there. And it's just things like that. I know I've dropped a bunch of glass bottles, and I've wasted a bunch of stuff. And I think this new product is fixing to roll out. A lot of people find pretty handy. And again, it makes it easier product to ship as well. So that's going to be kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, and that's the deal. I mean, everybody always talks about the glass bottles and stuff being, it don't mess with the flavors or anything like that. And, but just like you get into shipping and, invariably, or like I said, you're at a contest, you break one and, it's hell.
Yeah.
So, no matter how hard you try and stuff. So, I've been using gallon jugs for several years, and that's part of it right there. I mean, because it's pretty hard to bust a gallon jug, plastic jug of it.
I order it the same way. I order it by the gallon jug. It's just so much easier when you're prepping for contests and doing everything.
Correct.
To have the gallon sitting around, and then then when your buddy Lance forgets something, you can help him out. Or when I forget something, he's usually got a jug. Or a barbecue contest. Oh man, I forgot my Tennessee Red or original or champion blend or whatever your flavor is, and or I forgot brown sugar, or I need a big pan, or the barbecue family out there. It doesn't matter who it is. 9 out of 10 guys will give you their stuff because they want to beat you on your best day, not when you're behind. They want to beat you when you're right. So that's what I enjoy about it.
Yep. No, you're exactly right. And I think that's what brought me in and, got me enamored to this sport is, when I started a long, long time ago, I was only cooking one contest in my local, one little IBCA contest at our local county fair, and we would never have more than 25, 30 cooks there. And it was kind of on a fluke that I started. And I thought it was a drinking contest, and shit, I won, but I think I cooked 2 or 3 years without ever even, I never even heard a name called, nothing. Couldn't even get a dead ass last at any of those damn contests, and we were, but again, like I said, it was so fun. And, I had, 25 different people explaining to me how I was, supposed to be cooking and, all that kind of good stuff. And eventually we decided that, we got tired of sitting on the sidelines and really wanted to really start, trying to get some payout out of this thing, at least take a ribbon home, something. And then after that point, we started trying to honing and really trial and error and stuff like that, which that's one of those things that's kind of missing these days. There's a lot of guys who just go and skip, the trial and error phase and just go buy them a really nice rig and take a couple of classes and they're out there blowing and going. And that's awesome. I just don't work that way. I like to, again, I think the first time that I was with you at that KCBS, it really made me understand what KCBS was all about. Again, it was very simplistic. wasn't too complicated. Very simple steps and very simple ingredients. And I actually left that contest with you, and I changed my whole IBCA game. And we really, kind of developed a new program. A lot of your KCBS chicken, I adapted to my IBCA bird, and we did fantastic with it. And then all of a sudden, like I said, I sit back and I'm more of a sharer guy, than I'm over there seeing somebody doing something wrong, and I'm like, hey, hold on, just try this. You don't have to do it now, but think about it, take it home, practice with it, because I love seeing people succeed. Nowadays, the investment is so high in barbecue that you get a group that gets together and does a contest one weekend, and if they don't have results, they may not go do it again. And it's not because it's just because of those deals that the investment of this thing, and a lot of people have a misnomer that that you have to have a $5,000, $2,000 pit, to be able to go do it. Ernest Cervantes had the best luck in the world just cooking on regular old Webers, not even bullets, just Webers, and I think he started cooking on a 55-gallon, split barbecue grill. That was kind of his arsenal for a long time. And that's kind of one of the things I like about making this move to Blues Hog Gateway is, the Gateway is, a lot of guys have already talked to me going, hey, we're downsizing this year. We're going to get a 12-foot, 14-foot, 16-foot trailer. We're going to get a couple of cans, and we're going to go cook. And, we ain't waking up, and we ain't doing all that prep work that we used to. We're just going to fire it up in the morning, and we're going to be done, ready to go. And, again, like I said, I think that a lot of people right now are, trying to maximize their opportunity. You got a lot more guys who like to cook single, but you do have guys who are teaming up. And we've seen that over the last couple of years where, especially at bigger events, you're getting dream teams built and stuff like that, which is awesome, and don't get me wrong. When you go to some of the bigger events, it's really nice to go in with a little bit of a stacked deck, and trying to get as many walks as possible. But you still have to give it to those guys who are still out there doing it all by themselves and having great success, or maybe just doing it with his wife and their mother-in-law, but like I said, we have seen a lot of people use a lot of different strategies in this game. And like I said, and they all have a lot of different knowledge. It's all kind of the basic same knowledge, but everyone's got their own little quirkies to it.
Yeah, let me attest to that. Lance and I were at a cookoff, I believe it was 2 years ago. We were in Levelland, Texas. We're at Levelland, the fire department cookoff, Lance.
Yes.
Anyways,
yes, that's correct.
Anyways, J.D. Henley, which for everybody that doesn't know, J.D. Henley, he's Buckshot Barbecue. He's probably one of the best cooks in Texas. I really look up to that guy. He's a stud.
Mm-hmm.
But he showed up with one Gateway drum smoker. Mm-hmm. One smoker, cooked all three categories on one smoker out of the back of his pickup truck. Mm-hmm. And I think he walked twice that day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Showed up like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, he showed up like 5 a.m., pulled out his ice chest, started cooking one drum smoker, and walked twice that day. I mean, just to attest to, you don't have to have a $10,000 Jambo. I cook at Jambo. Everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. You don't have to have that. You can show up. I have a drum smoker too. But you don't have to have a $10,000 rig, pit and a $30,000 trailer and a $100,000 bus to get out there and cook. Mm-hmm. You can do it out of the back of your pickup. Like you said, if you put in the time and you do the testing and you know what you're doing, if you can do it off of one drum, imagine if you had 2 or 3. He might have been a lot better that day. But that to me, I had never seen that done. A whole contest cooked on one drum. Mm-hmm. Just that's the only time I've still seen it done.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty cool.
No, that's it. I think the days of we used to go to those contests and take I'd cook I think we cooked 4 chicken halves, and we cooked 4 racks of ribs, and cooked 2 different briskets, and all that. And Clarence Joseph once told me, he said, "Hey," he said, "you know what? If you can't cook 1 brisket right, how are you going to cook 2 briskets?" And that just got me thinking. And we moved from that point, and we would cook, 2 racks of ribs, one. We just bring 1 chicken, and we cooked the 2 halves. And even when IBCA changed their ruling to where we put 1 whole bird in the box, still only cooked 1 bird. 1 good brisket, and that was pretty much it. And again, if we couldn't do it with what we brought, then we couldn't do it. It wasn't our day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Daniel Garcia says, "What's up?" We had Joe in. We had Tom Fuentes in. #stupid beer.
Stupid beer.
Stupid beer. Love you, bro.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Anyway, good to see you guys. Glad y'all could join us.
So what is the so I'm going to interject here for a little bit and just kind of ask, so what's happening in your world, Lance, as far as what do y'all have planned coming up?
Well, I mean, we're kind of finally starting to get situated. We've, moved around a little bit this year, and I'm working about 300 miles from where I was, and so we just got done doing a lot of stock showing with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She got a couple of years left of that, and it looks like we're going to probably our first contest this year will be, I think that's March 21st. We'll be at Fire Lake up at Shawnee, and then hopefully Cedar Park, and I'm gonna try to cook, I don't know, 10 to 15 KCBS contests this year.
Mm-hmm.
Probably still cook a little IBCA here and there, but
well, you're getting to be you're going to be limited on what you have access to, though, aren't you, on IBCA side?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a lot in West Texas anymore. I mean, I think I was on there the other day, and there was like 9 to 12 contests for the year. So, and the thing about it is, I mean, entry fee wise, I mean, they're getting to where they're about the same. And, living over here now by Matt, we're, you're traveling anyways. So, that, I mean, if I'm going to travel, I'm going to probably travel and cook a little more KCPS on that end of it.
Yeah.
The other big deal about that is the way our work schedules work, I'll have, every other week we'll have a 3-day weekend. So, that helps too with traveling.
Yeah.
And,
I think too is, you have those, y'all had New Mexico IBCAs over there, that y'all would jaunt into, but it's to come Central Texas. That's a jaunt,
Yeah. So I mean, do what, Matt?
I was gonna say it's 7 hours for me to get from my house to San Antonio.
Yep.
It's also about 7 hours to Phoenix. So I'm pretty much right in the middle. So I can run out to Arizona and cook some contests as well as I can run to San Antonio.
Yeah.
We'll still cook the big ones we like, I've always been fond of Shiner. I love that cook-off. I'll probably cook it, I went down and was at the San Antonio Rodeo with Manuel this year. Manuel and me down. We went down and cooked that with Manuel and Tom and had a good time. And, so we're still going to cook the big ones we like. And, I'll probably be at the IBCA Invitational again. I know that's way down in McAllen, but
yeah, it's going to be way down this year.
We're going to make the drag down there probably and see what happens. I mean, that's quickly becoming the biggest cook-off in Texas. I see that thing, especially down in that region. It'll probably plus 300 teams this year. I bet you.
Well, it's going to be, once you get down in that valley area, it's kind of like how y'all were over there, kind of y'all's neck of the woods. There was a lot of great cooks, just didn't get out of that area very much, and that's kind of the same way down there, down south, is you got a lot of great cooks. They just don't ever, they got so many just smaller cooks that they kind of run to And most of them don't come. And a lot of those guys are oil field guys as well. And so their schedules don't allow them to go take, a lot of this time off. Half of them are on call. But anyways, like I said, that's going to be pretty interesting, is because I think you're going to have all the regular guys who will go down for that showdown. Plus, you're going to have a lot of guys who are going to sneak in, who just basically they don't cook that much, as far as IBCA comps, type of deal. But it'll be good. It's going to be a good year. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm surely interested. I've never been that far south before. We've cooked Uvalde and we've cooked a little San Antonio area and Shiner.
Yep.
But I've never ventured that far south. So I think that'll be a fun time, get down there and meet some new guys. And,
yep.
We get to cook with those guys from time to time, Fred and Roddy and the guys from down in that area. They come up here and cook. We meet them all across the country. But I think it'll be fun to get down there. Well, and for Caleb's comment there, Caleb, you'd actually have to get out and cook once in a while now to have a, we love you, bro, but, you'd have to get out there and cook a little bit, and then maybe you could make the added money event,
Yeah.
Well, and we'll see what happens. The story is about the added money is that this will be the last year that it moves around, supposedly. What was going on was they were going to do this, and then they're supposed to centralize it after this, supposedly. Mm-hmm. So we'll see if that holds true. I mean, that was under a different board and that end of it. And so I guess we'll see what happens there.
I kind of like it moving around. Mm-hmm. Just my thoughts. But it would also be cool if we had a centralized place. But you'd really have to do like Austin or San Antonio area.
Correct.
To make that happen, and then everybody's going to gripe because it's close for those people. But if you want to include all of Texas, you really got Waco, Austin, San Antonio to be kind of centralized,
Mm-hmm.
And as much as
put it in Brady, Brady's the heart of Texas. Put it right there. Hell.
Yeah. As much as IBCA is the International Barbecue Cookers Association, just move out of state and realize that realize that you don't get any rights anymore.
Yeah.
And you'll quickly realize it's the Texas Barbecue Cooking Association. So
that's pretty much it.
Exactly. They need to move it to just one of the Oklahoma truck stop casinos. And that's all the world's problems.
There you go. Hey, Lance, Joe Martinez wants to know if you still get your competition pork butts from La Tienda.
That's where we're going again this year. We're going to see if it rolls. Worked out pretty well last year.
It worked out pretty well last year.
Yeah.
We got Josh Wilkinson in. Manuel says Abilene. Caleb says Brady. We got a bunch of guys in here. We even got Jesse Salcido in here.
Hey, what's up, Jesse?
We were just talking about him not too long ago.
That's right. We was talking about Andrews, Texas. He was the first promoter I ever met.
Yep, he was.
Yeah. He's kind of retired out of the barbecue side of it. I talked to him here a few weeks ago. He's really getting involved into the chuck wagon cooking. And,
I think that was the last conversation I had with him.
So,
man, that's a lot of work there, them chuck wagon guys.
Mm-hmm. Had a lot of work, a lot of money too. I don't see what the savings is there.
Yeah. You're throwing $1,000 out the window either way you go. No matter if you're cooking IBCA, KCBS, chuck wagon. Heck, even if you're going to cook a steak, I know that's a little less, but that's $500 out the window. If you're getting a hotel room and cooking a steak, I mean.
Yeah. I tell you, and I'll have to say, for SCA side, we actually had come in and we had said that we thought that there was going to be a little bit more of a shot for people to come in and, do these SCAs, it's easier money on returns and blah, 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 type of deal. But I do have to say, I love SCA. We have had a lot of luck in SCA. Both I and my boy have had a lot of luck in SCA. As a lot of y'all know, my boy Ty had, he had the blessing of when he was 12 years old, he got to do Food Network. And so with that, we, I kind of, because we had that period from when he filmed the show until they would let us talk about it or whatever, we had like 6-7 months or something like that to really kind of try to pump him up. And he had already been cooking. I had him cooking IBCAs by himself. Actually, he was cooking in APIs, in the American Petroleum Institute cook-offs that we would do. And so I had got him going and talking about, we put him out there. I bought a Yoder smoker to put him on because he couldn't quite manage a fire. He could cook. He just couldn't manage a fire that well. So we put him on that Yoder, and he was cooking, full contest on just one Yoder 640, and he was doing really well. And but the thing that happened is, once he did that show, we had a period of time that we could kind of pump him up and, try to get him viewed and, try to build him a little career, kind of is what my goal was. And he actually did really well in SCA. He got tired of cooking IBCAs. He didn't want to cook full contest anymore. So then we got him kind of cooking SCAs, and but the age limit was 18, so he couldn't cook SCAs by himself. So I quit cooking. I'd have to sign up. He'd go and cook it, and then he would do well. I mean, he went to World Foods the last 4 years, something like that. And, he qualified to go to World Foods every year. He cooked the finals every year. But like I said, it's kind of one of those deals where, I said, oh, man, this is a perfect sport for him. And then all of a sudden, I started cooking SCAs, and I'm like, well, hold on, this is kind of the perfect sport for me. Because, again, I started cooking on the M Grill, had built the little C4 portable grill. And so all of a sudden, I got the new version one that's bigger. And that dude is a cooking dude. Don't need much fuel, get great results, and you can put it in anything. I mean, you can pack it, flew with it on an airplane. They didn't like me flying with that airplane, but they did. But like I said, it's kind of one of those deals. It's a sport where now people can, again, you can go cook one across the country if you really, really wanted to. At the other deal, you could pack some grill rates in a bag and, catch a plane or whatever, go somewhere and go buy a Smoky Joe or something for $30, and you don't even have to bring it back home. But we've been lucky on the SCA side. Like I said, I can say that I've won more money in SCA than I have in IBCA. And I've been cooking IBCA for 15 years. But again, I was never super consistent in IBCA. Because again, we were always tweaking on, change it a little bit here, change it a little bit there. But like I said, in SCA side, pretty much kind of cooking the same way we did when we started to now, but now they're getting fancy. They're injecting steaks. They inject steaks when they're done. They're injecting, fat into steaks. It's crazy. But again, it's still, you still have to, it's like a poker draw. You still got to get a good steak, and then it's up to you to either make it the best steak in the world or destroy it, but it's fun. Like I said, we're probably still going to cook a lot of SCA, because again, I feel like they're low risk gambles. And then again, this year I'm going to travel so much that, it's easy to find an SCA. If I'm in town somewhere, I can just scoot in somewhere and just go cook one, other than having to drag it, a whole trailer full of stuff.
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you what, Brett and Ken, those guys, they put on a world-class event. I've been to their world championship. We went twice now.
Yep.
I went with my sister. We went. Anybody doesn't know, my sister's probably a better cook than I am. She's the one that keeps me on track. She does my stuff. She says, Matt, quit drinking beer. We got to cook. Hey, we need to inject this. We need to, if I cooked without Tammy, I'd have to have, I don't know. I'd have to have my wife call me every 5 minutes to keep me on track or something. But that's Tammy's a blessing to kiss my rack. I tell you what. She even keeps Lance in line. She's even part of the BBQ Vandals. Keeps Lance in line.
Yeah.
Tammy's good, and Brett and Ken, those guys, man, they put on a heck of an event. And if you get a chance to cook one and you're lucky enough to win it or get your golden ticket, you have to go to that world championship, man.
Yeah.
They're lights out, dude. It's not I don't know it. I've been to the Jack. I've been to the Royal. I've been to the Jack twice, the Royal a bunch of times. We've cooked the big cook-offs in Texas and all around, but nobody puts on an event like Brett and Ken do. Those guys kill it every time.
Mm-hmm. They do a good job, and they've got some great volunteers and judges and, all that type of stuff that, I don't even know really how they do it, to be real honest, because like I said, they got so many people, cooks, judges, and support. I mean, I've never seen that in any sanctioned event, period, of how many people just, they say we're fixing to have an event and people are just signing up left and right. And again, it's for judging. They're never short on judges. They're always got plenty of help, but like I said, they've done something right because again, it's one of those things that, they've had so much success in such a short period of time, compared to the other sanctioned bodies out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've cooked several SCAs in my life. I suck at cooking steaks, apparently. So, I stick more to the barbecue side of it. But yeah, we've always had a good time. And I've known Brett and them for, years. So.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, somebody who's had some success cooking some steaks has been old Sarah Walker.
Oh,
yes, she has.
She's been doing a bang up job. I don't know if Matt's gotten to cook a steak yet, to be honest.
And I tell you another thing, Lance and I, we were at the first ever, you remember this, Lance? You and I in Plainview, Texas, did the first ever sanctioned SCA event.
Was that the first one?
That was the first one in Plainview, Texas in 2014. Remember Brett brought his trailer down?
Yeah.
That was the first ever SCA sanctioned event that I'm aware of. I'm pretty sure it was the first of all time. But full sanctioned event, we were there to cook that. Brett brought his trailer down. We made a big deal out of it. And
if you'll remember, Michael McDermott flew in. He was there that night for a while. Then he was going to film Pitmasters. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I know about all that because we had just gotten done filming the Grilling Victory. Mm-hmm. And because I'd been picked to do Barbecue Pitmasters, and I was in contract with the Grill at Victory, couldn't get out of it. They wouldn't release me, and so McDermott, Chadwick, all them guys, and then that was the last year that all kind of went that way. Mm-hmm. They swapped over to a different media company, and actually Chris Chadwick had kind of gotten us in on that deal, and so McDermott was there. That was a crazy year.
Yeah,
that was the year of Red Bull and vodka. And,
if I'm not mistaken, that was the first ever SCA event.
It may have been. I've forgotten about that.
I'm sure Brett was in rare form that day.
Oh, well, that day he was cool. The next day he was in rare form.
Because
that was a Friday night, if I remember.
He had a little accident. He tripped over a receiver hitch. Kind of did a little face plant.
No.
Oh yeah, we had a hell of a night.
Yeah. Cool. So we've seen the whole life cycle of the SCA event. Mm-hmm. I guess when I tell you those guys are great people, you just can't beat Brett and Ken. They go out of their way to make sure their organization is right and what they do, and everything they represent. It's really good to see good people do well.
Yep. Yeah. And I think that there's going to be, I think you'll see some expansion in that program. Let's just say it that. I think that they probably will have some things in the works to grow that franchise a little bit bigger, I think. They're done a great job with what they got, but eventually, I think there's going to have to be some growth.
We were, we were fortunate enough to win Big Bertha the last time they had it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to deny or,
I think we're on the same wavelength here.
Up there, and I'm not going to deny or confirm that. I've talked to Lance about it a little bit, but I think that could be a damn cool opportunity right there.
I think everybody just needs to pay attention to social media, and y'all will know soon enough.
I think that's. I've already committed to being there. Is how excited I am about that.
We may even do a little breaking right here on this show.
Yeah, if they confirm that and that happens, I'd love to break it right here. But I'm really excited about that. I've already confirmed I'll be there, and I'll go support that any day.
Yeah, so. and we're already thinking about how we can make that work. So, but yeah, like I said, everybody kind of stay tuned because there's going to be some cool announcements this year. There's lots of great events going on. Now, how about World Foods? Now, how are y'all feeling about World Foods?
Well,
I know there's going to be some mixed comments here on this. So,
all right. I'm just going to lay it all out there. I've never cooked it, so I can't be truly objective of it. I've seen a lot of the BS that's going on. I've seen a lot of the cash and prizes.
Yeah.
So to speak.
A little heavier on the prizes side.
Yeah. Things that go on. I think they have an interesting concept. I like the eat concept. I like what they're doing. But to me, they just have to. I don't know. I don't know if barbecue's dying in World Foods or if they're going to keep barbecue around because barbecue's kind of what started the whole thing. Or I don't really know how to feel about that. And
let me interject a little bit because here's what I've seen over the last couple of years. Now we've gone to World Foods for I don't know how many years, 3 years, 4 years, something like that. The first time that we went was Orange Beach the first year at Orange Beach. So we went there a couple of years and then now it's moving on in the Dallas market. I think originally, what the direction that he was trying to go was, to make this a really, high caliber chef program that happened to have a little bit of barbecue in it and happened to have a little bit of steak cookers or, whatever. But I think it's changed. I think it's changed a bunch. And I think it's a barbecue event that's got steak that happens to have some high caliber chefs in there. And I think the times have changed so much now because guess what? Every chef now, which we look at as barbecue cooks, because every barbecue cook thinks he's a chef now, whether you got a jacket or not, because the thing is now the caliber of what people are doing. And I think social media has a huge piece of this puzzle is because now people understand I can watch social media today. I can see every dish that wins. I can see how it was plated. I can see, we can look at something and we can figure out what it is. And I think that that's one of those things is these guys have figured out how to elevate this game. So now you have, the top guys last couple of years, steak, won it all, barbecue, won it all. It's kind of one of those deals now that you're getting to where you've got to go in there with a game ready to fight these steak and barbecue guys. If you're a regular chef, if you're in there cooking bacon or hamburger or dessert or whatever it is, you got to be prepared to cook against these guys at the end of the day because we already know it's going to be heavily stacked with those participants, I guess. So I think that now, especially with the move being in Dallas, supposedly they've got a 3-year contract, got to be in Dallas. Which is a great area. Again, it's a centrally located area for everybody. I think it opens up the door for more barbecue cooks to go because, again, look at the history. Fred Robles wound up, look at there, Matt Walker. But the thing is look at Fred Robles. That win changed his life. He was already a great guy, and he was already having huge success. And, and all of a sudden, he just came on the scene and, he just owned the world. Again, sponsorship opportunities, branding opportunities, everything else. He's one of the most humble guys you're ever going to meet. But again, like I said, I think that a lot of these guys, who, again, there's people who still want to seek success in barbecue. They want to figure out how they can do this full time and this be what they do every single day. They want to be like Mo Cason, or they want to be like Myron, or they want to be, any of these guys. I got lucky because my business is working with this type of deal. I mean, I love this. I wouldn't trade this for the world. Again, I love being in this industry with all these people. I love being at all these events. I'm fortunate enough to go to all these events and spend my time with, everyone. And again, everybody who's popped up here so far watching your show, I know them all. I've shook hands with every single person, and I think that's got to be something said for the success that I've found in the industry, is because I've tried to be friends with everybody and try to treat everybody the same, and I know that there's some camps that you can't get into, and I know there's some traders that you probably would never get into, and some guys who may not have the time for you at events. But there's a lot of guys who are super humble and, will share, anything with you. And again, like I said, talking about the world food opportunities is, there's Tom talking about his experience. But again, like I said, it's it's kind of one of those deals that it's an expensive weekend. Don't think it's not, but I think it's worth going to if you really want to kind of step the game up, move to the next level. I don't know, that type of deal.
I just think there's some logistics on the MMA side, that they need to work out. I've seen a lot of cook-off spots canceled this year because people brought up that you couldn't show up on a Tuesday to do a Friday, Saturday cook. There's some logistics that need to be worked out. They're in Dallas. They're in a great market. They have the lion's share of Texas cooks that have traveled to Dallas. Oklahoma cooks, Kansas cooks. I mean, you can get the lion's share of KCBS, IBCA, the big dogs there. You're not in Florida or even Orange Beach or, Las Vegas like they were previously. You're in a good spot for barbecue. They got a lot of stuff working for them, but they have to figure out some things on the logistics side. And, I bet those guys are up to the challenge of doing it. They had one event and they seen what worked and what didn't. And, I've heard him come out and talk on Rimpy's show, and he's an open guy. He's open for, criticism as well as accolades. So let's hope he can put that together and make it right. And if he makes it right, that could be another Royal or another Jack or whatever if the time and the dedication is put into it.
Yep. And I think he understands that too. Yeah, go ahead, Lance.
Well, like I said, I cooked it this year. Of course, I cooked it a recipe deal. I mean, I actually had an invitation to come and cook, and and like I said, I mean, for the most part, I enjoyed it. It was a little bit different of a deal. I was competing with a lot of chefs. I've seen a lot of the deal with the barbecue guys. My only deal that I really had in the whole situation was, I guess we finished well enough in the in our category that they actually had a super round, and we got a phone call on Saturday night asked us if we wanted to participate in it, and I said, hell, we're here. Let's run it. So we ran all over town because I didn't bring anything for barbecue, really. I mean, we were doing a whole different type of situation. And I'll never forget it. I mean, we go out, we spent like a couple $100 getting everything ready to go into this challenge, and it was a wings challenge the next day, which I was like, hell yeah. I mean, it's kind of our deal. To get there and find out that we weren't 100% in it yet.
Yeah, you're on standby.
Yeah, we've waited for like an hour and a half to find out whether or not we were in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there, I was a little disconcerting to me. It's like, people ran out and did all this stuff, and then, all of a sudden you may be in, you may not be in, but that's not how the conversation was.
Yeah.
Other than that, we enjoyed it. I mean,
yeah. Well,
I was able to have my daughter in there cooking, and we had a good time.
We have. By the way,
an expensive weekend.
Oh, it was an expensive weekend. You got to remind me too, because I got a lot of photos and video from that weekend that I need to send you. But that's kind of the thing is what I would tell people was, what they don't understand is barbecue guys and even SCA guys do this every weekend. This is no new thing. We know how it's supposed to work.
Right.
They have, these chefs, this is the one event they do all year long. So they're there, whatever needs to happen, that's what's going to happen. Well, that ain't work with us, because again, we know how it's supposed to run. We know how timelines are supposed to run. We know how the judging is supposed to work. Did I appreciate the judging this year? No. Everyone should have had an opportunity. Everyone kind of deserved to be there type of thing. So they need to make it as big a deal as we think it is, so they need to have a better judging. They need not a better judging. Let me rephrase that. They need to have a better award ceremony. Everybody deserves, if you walk a stage, you deserve to take something home to, remember that you did that. Right. And again, like I said, there are just so many little things that you would notice they do for somebody else that they wouldn't do for us, because I think barbecue was treated like the red-headed stepchild for a while. I think it's changing. I think the new venue that they're going to be going to is going to allow them to work with barbecue teams better. So this will be more like Orange Beach, I think, when we're able to go in there early and, and all that. The only thing I didn't like about Orange Beach was because we made finals. I cooked with Patrick Banks that one year, and we made finals. And then it was like to the last second. And then they were like, oh, yeah, you can cook in the kitchen. Oh, no, you can't cook in the kitchen. Now you got to go find a trailer to go cook at and then go figure out how long it's going to take you to walk from there to here. And, and regardless, we got DQ'd because we missed our timeline. But it's kind of one of those deals that, it's just like he reserves the right to make that change whenever he wants, however it suits him. And I get that. But the thing is for us is we don't like that. I mean, we want a set rule, a set timeline, a set everything, so we can prepare to come in and do it, But again, like I said, I think that with this new venue and the way that they want to do it, I think it's going to allow for, to have this better. Because they could have 150 cooks there, no problem, as long as they knew that there wasn't going to be no bullshit when they got there. And like I said, a lot of people at the last minute, I know, I had calls right and left going, hey, they said that we can't even come in there tonight. I'm like, well, I don't know, but then you had some other groups that were there and they were parked in the same spot all weekend long, so, you treat one, you got to treat them all, and I think that's it. But I know that the venue was kind of screwed up over there and they didn't have security. Everybody's trucks got broken into. They had all kinds of stuff going on over there.
Yeah, as long as that together, they'll be all right. I mean, it could be a major. They just have to get.
Oh yeah.
They have to get their head out of the sand and say, "Hey, let's do this right." Yeah. And you're right, Joey. The barbecue guys, we know how to present. Yep. We know how to build a box. We know how to do everything. That's what we do week in, week out.
Yep.
And I think it puts us barbecue steak guys at an advantage over the chef, like you said. We even got Carlo in the house now.
We do.
Yeah. Holy Mac, he's fresh from his New Orleans trip.
Yeah.
He must be still alive from
How was Mardi
Yeah.
Gras? Bro?
That was it. He was at Mardi Gras by way of their cooking deal that they had this past weekend.
Yeah,
with RecTech.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
boy.
guys, we're live right about an hour now, so we like to keep these kind of short. We don't want to keep everybody all night. What's up, Carlo? Thanks for joining us, Matt. Anyways, do y'all got any final thoughts or questions? We want to thank Joey for coming on and sharing with us. Dude, this hour flew by.
We'll have to do this again.
I didn't realize we was on for an hour already.
So I am going to throw out. So we did confirm. Talk to him this evening. We will have the walkers on. If I get this right.
There you go.
Next Monday night, 8:00 Central Time. But yeah, Joey, it's always a good time. Enjoy it.
Same here, guys. I look forward to seeing you on this year. Yes, sir. Anytime.
Yes, sir, Joe. And if anything comes up, any breaking news, Blues Hog, whatever wise, hit us up, man.
We'll let you know. We'll be out at majority of all the majors this year. Like I said, I'll put it out there. I'll get my new rig at Houston Rodeo, and once we do that, we will get. Once I get that rig, we're going to start kind of a road trip in it and go popping at different places. And like I said, we'll be easy to see. But like I said, I do appreciate it, guys. We hope to talk to you all again real soon. And other than that, we'll holler at y'all later.
Awesome.
Good deal, man. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you, guys. I appreciate it very much.
A new opportunity, guys. Appreciate everybody joining us. I would like to thank our sponsors, which is me and Lance. So,
all right. We'll work on that for you guys.
All right. Thank you.
All right. See you. Bye.
Good night.